April 7th, 2008. This is Diehard Gamer Radio, episode 45.
You are approaching the target of attack. Your mission starts now. Are you ready? The countdown begins. 3, 2, 1, go!
You are listening to Diehard Gamer Radio, the source for off-mainstream video game news and topics. And now, your hosts, Murdock, Brian, John, and Steve.
Just a couple more shots.
All right.
Maybe they'll all disappear in the ether where all of these episodes deserve.
I thought that was the Aether.
The Aether?
The Aether. It's like Earth.
I thought it was Aether.
Now, is that where the A and E are together? That weird
Yes.
AE? What
Yes.
is that? Does that have a name? That AE combination where it's just like one letter?
That AE combination was like one letter.
Yeah. Does it have a name?
Yeah, that AE combination was like one letter.
All right.
I don't know. It's all Greek to me.
I don't think that's Greek. Is it?
I don't know. Do I look like I know Greek?
I think it's Latin, but it's still Greek to me.
All right. John, you want to add anything to this conversation?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
He isn't Greek either.
What are you, John?
Not Greek, that's for damn
Well,
sure.
what nationality are you? Other
White.
than-
Posthumous.
White is not a nationality. It's a paper color.
It totally makes me... Next time I see an ethnicity question, I'm totally putting the man down.
John's been keeping everyone
What is
down.
your ethnicity? The one who's keeping you down.
I'm pale blue Scot with a little black butt porter.
No, you're clear. All right. So let us go to our gaming news, unless anyone else has anything else to share.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
Okay. All right. Well, the first
we could go into childhood traumas, tap into our past histories.
Do you have any childhood
Share a
trauma?
little bit of our deep inner
If you have the
feelings.
band counseling, we can give everybody little banana stickers.
Little banana stickers?
Yeah. It's a little Metalocalypse reference, right?
Okay.
Or we could talk about games. Your choice. Really.
All right. So we'll talk about our shattered dreams later on.
Do the podcast with our wings.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Wow. That
We
was
need a lot of ice.
Unless there's like wangs are okay if there's like a 2-to-1 chick ratio, because then it's okay. You got something else to look at. If it's not, then it's just wangs hanging out, and it's
So you're
just
saying we
not
need
good.
chicks for the podcast?
It's like being at a...
It's like being in a butcher shop.
I was going to say
There's
the
just
circle jerk.
Weenuses all over the place.
What was that band back in high school?
The circle jerks.
Yeah, they had the little... had the little symbol of the man running inside the circle.
So you're saying bukkake is totally in poor taste then?
Yeah, you're doing it wrong.
I can see that.
No, you're talking about bukkake deep porn, because bukkake is actually a type of soup in Japan that is boiling over.
Yeah, but you so
any kind
don't
of
want to
soup that
order
was
it.
called that. Yeah.
It's like getting natto.
It's been ruined for me.
Okay.
I do not like bukkake.
Natto is never the right answer.
All right. It does make me wonder how awful Japanese porn is for the puns. I mean, do they have one that starts with a woman going into a restaurant and ordering some soup?
They don't seem to really bother with the plots.
That's true.
Yeah. All right. So first up, we have more witch touching. The
Speaking of
Doki Doki Mahoshimpan 2
speaking of
duo
porn that
announced.
doesn't have a plot.
It's got maximum risky
I don't know, it's a
witch
little touchy.
check mode, which probably means nothing. And we're hoping for a Wii version. Oh, and you do get butt touching in the game now.
So we're hoping for a Wii version that has what? Wii touching? I mean, do you really need to port the platform to pull that one off?
Once again, speaking of which, this is totally unrelated and not really, but yes, it is. Did you see the thing on the RepRap? The open source schematics released for the self-replicating 3D printer?
No, but that'd be pretty sweet.
It's pretty awesome.
Can it actually make a full-size version of itself or just a smaller version?
It can make a full-size version of itself. It can't,
some assembly required.
Well, yeah,
Explain
and
this
it
in
can't.
layman's terms for our viewers.
A 3D
listeners.
printer is something that can make 3D objects from template, basically.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so this one apparently is significant because it can make one of itself. I mean, it can't make the motors and everything like that, but it can make the structure, and then you can buy the standard off-the-shelf parts to put into the thing to make whatever you're making.
So you're saying that this printer makes snap-tight models?
Well, essentially, because the injection molding is the really expensive part of this sort of thing, and this basically does an end around for custom things that you don't want to pay $650,000 for an injection molding for. So it's pretty cool. Can't make sex androids with it yet, but just give time. It's
We're
open
hoping.
source. It'll get there. It's a foregone conclusion.
It'll work on Ubuntu, but it will work.
Yes. Well, you know.
Won't work in Red Hat, but, you know, they're working on it.
And when you make sex droids in it, it'll be like the Ubuntu version, so they'll be really pretty and have a lot of options. But you'll get to the one point that you want to do something and you can't find the damn package.
It's just pretty exciting, though. How are they going to bootstrap it? They have to use a different 3D printer to make the first one?
I don't know. I guess you'd have to buy your first one or something like that.
Well, somebody's got to make the first one.
Well, they've already made the first one. But
Okay.
Yeah,
well, so then you just got to keep passing them along your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Will it have AI installed
Well,
on it?
eventually Skynet will become self-aware.
Yeah. So if the printer, you know, looks in Skynet's like, we're not selling enough copies of this printer, it'll just keep self-replicating itself until it, you know, sells enough?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So anyway, that's what I was thinking, you know.
Yeah, the trick is
You don't really want to know what my thought process was connecting, you know, Doki Doki, Majo, Shinpan 2 Duo with 3D printers.
Yes, we do.
So we
need to know. Otherwise, the
You know-
question will just eat at me.
You know what?
Yeah.
We need that self-replicating technology for game systems, specifically the
Self-replicating lowly.
no.
You can print actually the 3D printer will actually do it's in like 0.1 now, so it can only do really simple things and itself. But they're actually they have in plans to do printed circuit board type things where it'll replicate them.
Yeah, that way we can, if our Xbox 360 gets the red ring of death, it can just replicate,
You a new motherboard?
Yeah.
Wow, if only people could do that.
Yeah.
They can. It's just
if only
messier.
people could fix. Yeah, if only people could replicate. Get you a new 360 that worked.
All right.
Yeah, that actually would be nice.
I got a 70-inch Trinitron monitor.
Yeah, don't go plugging your plasma into that.
Where does your Beowulf cluster fit into all of this?
Nowhere.
Okay.
I've never found a use for a Beowulf cluster. It's so sad. There's all these laptops at work that just get recycled.
Now, these other clusters that are named after
them.
other classical novels you might have uses for.
No, I see
The Grendel
36 Pentium 4s going to be recycled of laptops,
geez.
and I'm like, man, if I had something to do with those,
You're missing the boat. I go talk to him and say, I'll make you a deal. I'll buy these off of you.
nah,
and
they have to
resell
get
them."
rid of them because they
of
have
contracts.
medical data on them. And
Oh.
they have to. It's a
Well-
pain in the ass.
Can't you get certified to wipe them or something?
Yeah, the certification is they put them in a grinder.
There's a way to erase those completely.
Yeah.
There is, but they don't want to do it.
That's
So.
just stupid.
Yeah,
It
well.
costs
Such a
more
waste.
to try and delete the data than it does to just throw it in a grinder.
Yeah.
Well, I think the current record for that is like 30 or 40 overwrites and still pull data off.
Something like that.
It's
But
something pretty ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, but you got to use your scanning electron microscope and spend, $3.5 million in a controlled environment to hopefully get the stuff off there. And
Yeah, but the class action lawsuit they get out the other end is way bigger than that
Yeah,
$3.5
maybe.
million.
I've got to put my recording voice
when we
on.
turn on when we turn off the thing, we're like, "Well, give me more cigars and some tea and let's get some tots in here."
And I turn into a caring, sensitive, politically correct person.
And
And a guy stops by at the door.
I
All
turn
right, nice
into
tasty
a
bit of cropper there, governor.
social butterfly,
All right. You done, Steve?
dripping with women.
Dripping with women.
Yeah, haven't you ever heard that before?
Yes, the women just fall over you like
As if they had condensed from the air.
Yeah, that'd be more useful if the
and
women
ended
were
up
dripping,
and
really.
ended up on the inside and they
you
ended
do
up on the
hydrogen
inside of your
based?
car door.
I just put them in a bucket for later.
So anyway, you were talking
a
about rubbing your Wii all over the witches or something?
Or something.
I could actually do that. I have the freeloader disc now, but
Oh my
that would
God.
require me to buy the game
A freeloader for the DS? No,
for
freeloader.
the Wii. I
What
can play
import
it.
games are there that you need the freeloader?
There's about 3 of them I'm interested in. One's actually a truck racing game where you use these shipping trucks that you race with and you can upgrade them. It's kind of cool.
So it's 18-wheeler?
No. They're smaller trucks. They're more like U-Haul size. Except they're lower to the ground and they ship. The whole thing is you got to ship from one destination to another as quickly as possible, and based on your record and whatnot, you get paid better, and you can upgrade the design on your ship or on your truck, and you can change the paint jobs and get fins and foils. It's hilarious.
Do you have to fill up the tank before you drop off the truck?
Do you have to pay outrageous Japanese gasoline prices?
I'm sure that's factored in somewhere.
Okay.
Do you have to avoid pedestrians?
Do you ship?
No, they do have this interesting little like cow catcher on the front of some of them, so I'm not sure.
That's for the zombies.
Do you ship lolis to maid cafes? Is that one of the missions?
Pays well enough, maybe.
All right.
Going to buy me a paint job.
All right. So moving on, our next topic is that we talk very briefly about the Kiki Kaikai 2 game being released. And all this is that the game got canceled in Japan,
Sort of.
got released over here as Heavenly Guardian with a few changes, and now it's like impossible to find. Because apparently they printed off like 5 copies of the game.
It was kind of weird. I actually went looking around to try and track down a copy of this. And it was Buy.com that was the one online retailer that actually got significant stock in and was actually able to fill orders.
Huh. Wacky.
I think Amazon got some in and shipped them out as well, but yeah, it certainly hasn't been going out in quantity.
Okay, so...
Weird.
and I was just going to pick it up just, for shits and
Just
grins.
because you're a pack rat?
Yeah. Yes.
That's the shit and grin part.
All right.
That's maybe just the grin part.
Next up, caught cheating on an Xbox 360. That's a paddling. And this is...
That's with a holy paddle.
Well, this is for serious offenders caught unlocking achievements without actually playing the games.
Yeah.
The punishments are resetting the entire gamer score for an account to 0, unable to regain all previous obtained achievements and gamer score, but you have the ability to gain future achievements by earning them fairly, and account will be clearly labeled as a cheater on their gamer tag.
Do they really need as anything other than that? I mean, you just put the retard label on their gamer tag. Who cares
People are
about the
gonna know.
points and everything?
Yeah.
I believe I know why they're
Cheating
doing this.
retard would be better.
It's
Eh.
because they're going to actually, on G4, have a reason to have the cheater show running. They're just going to change the
Oh,
format,
okay.
so it's just going to be biographies of cheaters on Xbox Live.
I was reading
They're
an
going to have
article.
some, reality show television crew outside this guy, who's being a lamer on Xbox
It's
Live.
somewhat similar to the end of Jalen Silent Bob Strikes Back. Yeah.
There was an article, an interesting
The
article.
first
in-
one is going to be like all of something awful, figuring out what's the shortest time they can do to get that tag.
There was
Hey, you're at somethingawful.com. Oh, okay. So Brian, what's up?
Can I talk now? Is it okay?
No.
Do we have any more interesting, funny anecdotes?
Yes,
Okay.
we do.
Yeah, well, please continue. Don't let me interrupt.
You got to be more assertive.
I said it 3 times and gave up.
Yeah, well,
There was an article I read in, I think it was EGM last month. Yeah, about one of the new weird hidden not phobias, but weird things that's happening to people. Certain people are getting this gameritis where they have compulsion to achieve. And they go on to 360 and they get every possible achievement they can get. They go out and buy random games. They don't care just to increase their achievement score. It's like a sickness, but they had this guy on there that was up to, I think, 120,000 achievement points because he had gone out and got every game possible. I mean, it's to the point where he's going late to work now. His family's suffering. His kids aren't getting to spend time with him. Because he's just completely, compulsively addicted to achievements.
But you don't get anything.
That's exactly it. It's
I
just
don't-
some sort of weird thing, man.
You don't get anything.
Well, he's definitely not
He's
getting
feeding
anything
some
now.
sort of mental need, though. It's just kind of sad, really. But it's such a weird thing to get addicted to. But there's a few people out there apparently
with
doing
drugs,
it.
you
I
get
think
high.
he hates his life and his children.
Yeah,
And this
I
is
don't
how he
know.
escapes.
Could be some subconscious thing. But they also touched in the article upon people that are cheating and they're using copies of things to get their score up, and I think that's what this is all about. Because
they've actually plugged those security holes, as far as I know.
Now,
it used to be possible to take a save file off another console and do that, but that's been fixed for like more
can
than
you
a year.
even cheat in these games?
Well, apparently it's not for every game, though. Certain games are not as stringent. They're not as hard
It was
to do that
actually a
with.
dashboard update, though. It wasn't
Was
game
it?
specific. It was
Because I remember in the article it said certain games just weren't designed that well, and they allowed for you to copy these things back and forth without knowing what you were doing.
It used to be things like you could just load somebody else's Ridge Racer save file.
Yeah,
and
while
you'd
your card was
instantly
still
get
in there and
all
just
of the
save it
achievements
again.
for it.
Yeah.
But none of that stuff works anymore, as far as I know.
There aren't any other ways to cheat on Xbox. I mean, I've heard of the game save stuff, but I mean, there isn't anything else that we're aware of that you can.
Not yet, but apparently people are hacking the PS3 network because I was hearing that they were getting free game downloads the last couple of days.
They don't have like Game Shark or anything like that for the Xbox 360.
No.
What, hacking the PS3 robust
The home network
online service?
apparently
Perish
not
the
the
thought.
best in design.
Unthinkable.
What'll be hilarious is when we manage to see furries in PlayStation Home. That
Okay.
would be like epic hack.
So, moving on, our next topic is jobs for virgins available at Japanese erotic game store. Akihabara erotic.
Akihabara.
So is like the virgin part a requirement or like a
Well,
requested
here,
feature?
no.
How do you prove that?
Okay, so an Akihabara erotic game shop has a part-time job listing for sales clerks. High school students aren't allowed, and prospective applicants need to be between 18 and 23 years old for the 850 yen, $8.46 an hour gig, but they have a poster that ensures that they won't ask about your intersexual experience. Intersexual? What?
That
So
sounds
all
like
of these are
somebody doesn't know
guys
how to
then.
translate.
Well, this is off a website that,
So all these people
Oh,
are
no, the
guys then.
internets.
Are there actually 18-year-old virgin females in Japan?
Possibly, but they're not going to be working in an erotic store.
Okay, if you're raped by a tentacle monster, are you still technically a virgin?
No.
Okay.
Whereas, the guys who work at an erotic game store are going to remain virgins.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's
You know,
not
so they're all
not
guys
the greatest
somehow.
place to try and find women.
It'd probably be a good way to have your psyche scarred.
Probably.
Like, oh,
Well-
my uncle, hi.
Well, being
What are you buying?
being
Oh.
Japanese is probably a good way to get your psyche scarred. So,
All right.
all
Funny
right,
seeing you here.
yeah. My old teacher from junior high. How are you doing?
He's
All right.
buying Boys Fitness Club. Oh, no.
Wait, it all makes sense now.
Yeah. All right. So next up, Darwinia Plus, confirmed for Xbox Live this fall.
Yeah.
And I know that John is the
I'm a big fan of
Darwinia.
intro version.
So what is Darwinia about?
Darwinia is an odd kind of RTS that basically takes place in a virtual theme park. It's a
Oh, you mean like theme park?
no, because it's a world that's created and filled with these artificial life forms and a virus that's invading, and it's been created to be a theme park for viewing these artificial life creatures. But so basically you come in and you're driving them around and trying to save their ass. It's unique in a couple of ways. The control scheme is gesture-based. You draw symbols for what you want to do. And when you actually control many of the units, you're doing it like an action-adventure title. You drive them around and shoot with them, although it's still an RTS in overall form. It's got a great, Tron-inspired art style for it. And this is also going to include the Multi-Winia project that they're working on right now, which is a multiplayer-oriented version of Darwinia.
Yeah, I've actually got it on the PC. It's pretty cool. In fact, I think you bought it for me. There's supposed to be, I was reading too, they're going to be releasing the original Darwinia on Xbox Live down the road too.
Well, this is going to be both Darwinia
Or is this the
and
full pack?
Multi-Winia
Okay.
bundled together as Darwinia Plus.
Nice.
Cool.
Might be kind of cool. It's just a matter of getting, multiplayers or multiple players.
It'd be a good venue for it.
Are you going to pick it up? I mean, that's a stupid question. I mean,
I already own it on the PC, so it would seem like it would be odd for me to want to buy it again on Xbox Live Arcade.
But
There's got to be some sort of multiplayer reason or pull behind it to make it worth buying again.
And I do like Introversion enough. I like to actually get physical stuff. Boxes.
What's this
Boxes
physical
are important.
media you talk about?
Yeah, join the Steam Club. Join Valve.
All right. So next up, Sega Master System games coming to the US Wii. In fact, I think they're already out. With I think Wonder Boy.
Woo!
Can we get
was
a
the
good,
first one?
Can we get the good port of Double Dragon while we're at it?
Can we get
Maybe.
the snail knockoff of Pac-Man?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Can we get Zollion?
How about Rise from Your Grave?
I don't think that was on the Master
Beast.
System.
Altered Beast.
There was a
was Altered
Master
Beast?
System version, I believe. There was a Genesis version, but I believe there
The
was a
new
Master System
version, the new release was horrid.
With the
yes.
3D Altered Beast, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, God.
for those of you who might want to
But I
play
could be
Phantasy Star someday, now's your chance.
And if you haven't already bought the collection on the GBA or downloaded the ROM,
Woo!
Or the
Apparently you've been
the
waiting
whopping
for a
like
weird
$60
port.
on an original Master System
actually,
and
you
picked up the game.
actually, you don't need to do that anymore because remember those Sega collections that are coming out for the PS2? They came out with the Treasure Collection and all these other collected games like Knights and whatever. They came out with the Phantasy Star collection that has Phantasy Stars 1 through 4. This is Japan only. So they came out with 1 through 4 for the import PlayStation 2. Undocumented feature. They have English versions of all 4 games on that disc.
all you need is a Japanese...
PS2 or just a way to load.
Modded system.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, hey, you could import it and enjoy the games in Japanese, or do what I do and plug in my Genesis.
Enjoy for
plug
some
my
value
TV
of
cartridge
enjoy.
into my Game Boy player. And,
Or you could buy that Master System converter that you plug into your Genesis and get the original game.
Oh my God! I know someone that has that still. All right, so
It
next,
was great. You could stack up your 32X.
yeah, the Tower of
car CD and your Master System.
No, you-
Got one of those at home.
You could be a giant nerd.
yeah, you can have the
The
you can have
Genesis 3,
the
I think.
yeah, you can have the Sonic and Knuckles, and then you have the Master System thing on top of that, and then
You got Sauron's Tower and Saruman's Tower and the Sega Tower.
excellent.
Yeah.
So next up, we have Ikaruga finally comes to Xbox Live Arcade this Wednesday, April 9th, which would be really cool if, the Xbox 360 D-pad did not suck.
Yeah,
why
but
would
doesn't
you play
everybody
it with a D-pad?
Okay, why would you use an analog controller for a shmup?
Because I might want to go in more than 8 directions.
What? What? What?
What's this nonsense?
Keegan, would you, send him an email or something? Just tell him he's doing it wrong.
All I got to say is, doesn't everybody that cares already have a copy of this game?
I have 2 copies of the game.
This is what I'm talking about.
So they're really
The fact
just
that
selling
a
it to
fairly
the people
rare
who want
game, you were
3
able to get
copies.
2 copies of it.
But here's the thing. Now I need to get on Xbox 360 so I could get, my
Yeah, you're
achievement
more
points.
achievement points? That's
Yeah,
great.
for an Xbox 360 that I don't have any time to play right now.
Just your ability to beat the game ought to get you in the top 10,000 or so.
Oh, my God. Why would you move more than 8 directions in a shmup? Does Ikaruga even have more than 8 directions?
No.
I mean,
You're asking,
I'm
I don't
asking.
think I
you're
know
asking
many shmups that do.
time-delayed questions.
Help me out here.
This is just more pandering to our audience, really.
Treasure, can you please
it's
help
good
me?
for.
All right. So next up, 72% of the United States plays video games. The other 28% are apparently people who use Macintosh and don't know what these video game things are. So,
No, they've still got a WoW port. Really, what more do they need?
so
Still
yeah.
playing Marathon.
Well, Marathon was great. Oh, wait.
But this doesn't answer the burning question of how many of those are casual gamers.
Yeah, that's the important question, really.
Oh, geez.
You can do
not
as-
this
you
shit
can-
again.
Yeah, you can do as many one of your studies as possible, but they're not addressing
No,
the proper question.
72% are casual gamers. The other 28% are like, you're doing it wrong.
Well, I
So-
don't think that's what the study said.
Yeah. So our last bit of gaming news is we have a editorial that compares gaming to heroin and teen pregnancy.
I have no problem.
Oh my god.
That seems generally correct and on the money.
Yeah.
Hey,
All right.
that's something I compare games to. I don't know about you.
I really can't find any fault in this study.
Okay,
personally.
well, let me read the rest of this here. So Giles Whittell, a writer of the Times of London, says in an editorial that he hates being told that he should first try to understand video games and immerse himself in the world before judging them. Why? Because it feels like he's being told to immerse himself in smack and teenage pregnancy before passing judgment on them.
Because that's a real problem. I mean, every time I start talking about kids and stuff, it's always, well, have you been pregnant? Were you a single teen mother? How do you argue with that? You just can't.
I just want to point out that immersing yourself in smack would be really expensive.
And you know this how?
Yeah, that would be pretty expensive.
That'd
You'd
be
need a
smack
vat,
bank
first
account.
of all, and then the vat would have to be filled with heroin. And
And
then
have,
you would have to immerse yourself.
It would be
pretty
like
Rockstar, though.
it'd be like a scene
Yeah,
out
it would
of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
It'd be like out of...
We're eating cocaine off a knife.
It'd be out of... shit, what's that movie? The cocaine movie.
Blow?
Scarface?
Scarface. It'd be like Scarface.
Tony Montana! Immersing myself in smack!
I think it's funny that I said, it's like that cocaine movie, and you knew what I was talking about.
I think it's funny that you know what he was talking about.
There aren't too many movies where there's like a big pile of cocaine on some guy's desk.
Yeah.
And then you read some of the forums about that movie. It's like, oh no, that was real cocaine. Okay, dude, if that was real cocaine, they couldn't. I mean,
They couldn't afford to make the movie.
Yeah.
Everybody
The
brought their
budget
cocaine from home, and they all put it in a pile.
They would have blown the budget.
all right.
I would have liked to have seen the expense reports at the end. That would have been a new version of Hollywood accounting.
Yes, well, that's under the flowers and catering. The flowers and catering budget is actually larger than the rest of the budget combined.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they could make a lot of that money back by selling it.
Yeah, who knew they were just ordering puppies?
Yeah. So we here at Diehard Gamer Radio was trying to understand smack and teen pregnancies, but it felt like we were being told to immerse ourselves in editorials from the Times of London.
Well, if they really want to, I mean, maybe they could send us some nubile teens, and we'll explore the relationships.
We can make some sort of comparison,
Yes.
and then we'll send it back to you.
Diehard Gamer Radio needs
With
sluts. Please send
We
all
don't want
sluts.
sluts. We want women of loose morals.
And what is the difference?
Well, you're
How
out to
many-
there, governor. It's a tasty bit of crumpet, eh?
How
Well,
many
one's
words
kinda
I use
nasty.
to describe it?
One's kind of nasty and sort of creeps you out. Makes you wonder how many layers of plastic you need. And the other star's a night trap.
Yeah.
I say we just-
So you're into necrophilia, right?
She was alive at the time.
I say we just
She's
go
not alive now.
We just go
Well, he doesn't
uh,
want her now.
We just go Sweeney Todd on his ass.
Well, we don't know that, Steve. I mean,
What don't we know?
if that, John
We
may
know
want,
nothing.
Has a girlfriend. She's alive. I mean, I haven't seen her for a long time, but she's alive as far as I know.
your girlfriend is alive, right?
Last I checked.
Okay.
Helps to make the house payments.
Helps to make you pie.
Wow, way to
Make-
harsh my mellow,
make-
man.
Helps to make the sandwich.
All right, everybody, stop harshing his squeak.
Helps to make the sandwich. Kitchen, GB2.
Has she been playing Cooking Mama? Is she getting better at cooking?
No, because that would involve owning one of them faggy consoles.
Faggy console.
Faggot consoles.
That's the British version
So
of weed.
Yeah,
so
like-
consoles made out of
Consoles
cigarettes.
made out of cigarettes. They're small twigs. Made out of kindling.
Oh, Atari 2600.
Yes. Yes, and television.
Speaking of, did you see the April Fools for the Retro 360?
That was
so
actually
needed to
pretty
make that
awesome.
thing.
The wooden. Now, I looked at that. It's like, I know this is April Fool, but that's still pretty freaking awesome.
Made of
Yeah.
winning god.
Yeah.
It was like the Defendus door lock. That was the other April Fool's prank I totally would buy.
You know what? There was a distinct lack of this year.
Hmm.
Slashdot April Fool's jokes.
In general, my news sites were really good about April Fools this year.
It's kind of like. Actually, I
Alright.
kind of missed the Slashdot ones because it's always really funny to watch people complain about the April Fool's stuff in the comments for the April Fool's articles.
Yeah.
And besides, though, I
Kind
mean,
of
for
an
April
oxymoron.
Fools, nobody was going to beat, YouTube rickrolling everybody.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah. So, we're going into our topics here, and our first topic is beautiful blue skies week. Do we have beautiful blue skies music?
Well,
No, I don't even know what
you
it
do the
is.
editing, man. So you tell us.
Well, no, it's more humorous.
It needs to be like
if
one
you
of those,
provide the music. If you
no,
do
we need
like
some strings, like in a James Bond film where they're like flying and there's like little string thing going on.
it's like was it a Roger J. Broccoli production?
yeah.
And then when they're doing the production
I think it's
logo,
our broccoli.
R. Broccoli or something like that. Some gamer silhouette or something. I don't know.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to talk about. So this is Beautiful Blue Skies Week, the 23rd of March to the 30th of March, and we're going to talk about when SEGA was good. So we're going to show some SEGA love. So now I'm going to predict right now that Steve will say that the best SEGA game that he's ever played is Space Harrier.
I feel like I need to hop into a time machine with a little dog to figure this one out. Because
All right.
fuck, 10 million BC or something.
So, Steve, best SEGA game, Space Harrier?
I don't know.
Well, you talk about the game the most, so.
I just think it has a cool soundtrack. It's all. It's not like it's got the most innovative gameplay ever.
Well, yeah. Well, it had the sit-down version. That was kind of cool.
You kind of fly around, you shoot at stuff, then you go, ah!
And then you trip over a bush.
Get ready.
Yeah, okay. Any other SEGA games that you have much love for? And you can say Zaxxon if you wish.
I'm trying to remember what
Zaxxon was a good time.
SEGA games I really had. Cause
Well, you were a big Genesis fan back in the day, right?
I had a Genesis.
Well, okay.
That makes you a fan.
I actually used my Master System controllers on my Commodore 64. That was very convenient.
No, well, you had, the 9-pin?
Yeah.
Oh. I think I did the same thing with my Amiga. All right. So nothing from Steve.
Pretty standard controller set.
John,
Yeah,
do
they
you have
kind of
any?
didn't do the whole proprietary controller thing back then.
I don't know. I'm
Kinda
just still
made
bitter with
sense. It was
Sega
like,
that
wow, I
I'm
could
never
use
going to
those
get
on
to
more
play
than one thing.
Shenmue 3, really.
Okay, well, Shenmue was kind of, well, that's not really Sega love. That's just more of Sega
Crazy
irritation.
Taxi!
No, that's a
Yeah.
good Sega game, even if it had Wolfman Jack
It's
in
a lot of
it.
fun in the arcade, anyways.
But
Well,
as with many things, Sega has made me retroactively bitter about it by patenting arrows that point in things in driving games.
Had a Offspring soundtrack.
that was the only soundtrack
That was
it
great
had.
until like the third song, and then it just all
No, it was-
sounded
it was
the same.
all-
You're like,
yeah.
ugh.
Well,
Come
it's kind
on.
of cool that if you listen to the actual, it was on from Ixnay on the Ombre,
Yeah.
you actually list all those songs are in a row. It's like they just took a section of the CD and put it in the video game, and that was it.
Yeah.
So arrows that point to which direction you go into.
In a driving game. An arrow that points to your next destination.
Yeah, that was popularized in the Sega game Turbo.
That's what you call an arcade game.
Yeah.
Not a
And
driving
any
game.
other?
Sega totally has the patent on it and has successfully sued for licensing fees.
Wow.
He is correct.
That's impressive.
That
So-
patent's not up yet.
No.
Hard
Because it was
right,
for
maybe.
Crazy Taxi.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Sega Rally.
Sega
Hard left
Rally
turn
was
maybe.
so
I'll
good
run
times,
through
man.
3D
I love
games and all
Sega
that.
Rally.
It's like an arrow
It's out on
that
the
floats
PS2
over
now.
the car and
Is it
points
PS2
to
or
the next
Xbox
destination.
360?
I think it's PS2.
No, I think there's an Xbox version of Sega Rally. I believe so. I'll double check that.
Huh.
So anything else, John? Doesn't sound like you have much
Let's
Sega
see,
love.
what else am I bitter
Did you play
about?
Sonic the Hedgehog?
I did. I mean, I really, Sega did a lot of good stuff, and the Dreamcast was what got me back into console gaming, but man, Sega's done an awful lot to run their name into the ground.
Well, they keep repeating the same shit. It's like, God, where's the
Well, they had an
creativity
original
gone?
IP.
Like 3 years ago?
I'm thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Seaman was their last.
That was on the
original IP?
Dreamcast, so that was ages ago.
I'm thinking.
See, they're living off rehashes, man. It's like Neo Geo.
They
now.
had an
At least
original.
Well, at
they're
least
living
Neo
off
Geo
shitty rehash.
SNK is actually Playmore SNK is at least coming out with newer fighting games, so it's
Well,
not
they have
totally
a new
living off
IP. Granted, it is witch touching, but yeah.
The last good IP was Panzer Dragoon. Because everything else was like that you think of it as a Sega game was actually an arcade game first. So.
Yeah, and Panzer Dragoon is an awesome series, except for the fourth one. But
Which one is the fourth one?
Azel, which is the one on the Xbox 360. Which for some reason I had a real tough time playing, but the RPG is the best in the series.
No, 360 was Orda, wasn't it?
That was the
Orda.
Xbox one.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
the original
Orda.
Xbox,
Yeah, Orda was the one. It was.
Yeah, Orda
Azel was the RPG.
Yeah,
it
Azel was the last.
It was
Dreamcast.
Zwei 2.
Saturn one.
So I know that you have a lot of Sega love, Brian.
Yeah, back in the day, yeah. They were really a big contender back in the day. They were one of the big three.
They used to be right up there with Nintendo.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. They just stopped making systems, went into making games, except,
Big
they
three?
stopped making games now, too.
Even back then it wasn't the big three because, the Turbo Graphics wasn't really...
It was the big two.
Yeah.
The other ones were kind of also rans.
Sega also had their hands in a lot of sports games. They were big in sports back then. They kind of were bigger than EA back then, but they just kind of fell to the side
Nintendo
again.
really didn't do the whole sports games.
And I remember all the EA
Nintendo never
sports
really
stuff
did
was really
sports
on the
games, is the
Genesis.
problem.
Yeah. All the
they
Madden
supported
stuff
it a
and
lot
NHL
more.
There
stuff
was
was
so
on
much,
Genesis.
yeah.
That's how they
a lot of stuff.
secured a lot of their foothold. But I will say, some of the best Sega games probably started on the Genesis. But Streets of Rage, big contender. Phantasy Star, I take that back. Phantasy Star 2 was just really, really hard.
Yeah. It had an interesting setting to it, though. I mean, it was sci-fi in a world of fantasy game.
Mm-hmm. And they've killed that one. They've
ran that one into the ground.
And
it's like every possible system.
It's like after the Dreamcast and the Saturn, in the course of the Dreamcast and Saturn, they somehow managed to figure out how to not market themselves out of a wet paper bag. You
and
only
of course,
have one competitor. How bad can you do?
And of course, Sonic. Let's not get into Sonic the Hedgehog.
Actually, the new Sonic coming out is supposed to be
Sonic Unleashed. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah,
what's it matter if it's decent at this point?
Yeah, it may be too.
Well, how hard can it be to make it decent when everything else has sucked so far?
I really enjoyed Sonic Adventure. It had been a long time since I played a platformer game. I played the first one on the Dreamcast. It was a good time, and then it was just why, Sega? Why? Why do you hurt me so?
Sonic 3D on the Sega CD was pretty sweet, too. It was such a huge world you could play in, but yeah.
That is considered the best in the series.
Yeah. Downhill.
I'm trying to think of any other Sega games that I have an unhealthy love for.
I'm just trying to think of
Sewer Shark
good.
was not a Sega game. That was Digital Pictures.
It was on a Sega.
It came out around Night Trap.
It was on a Sega.
No. Was that the original Sega?
No, it was a Sega CD.
That was a CD, yeah.
But it was it was the pack-in. The pack-in of the game was 4 Genesis games on the same CD because I believe it was Golden Axe, Columns, Streets of Rage 1.
They put that on a CD? Didn't they also
there's
do
like
a
a collection.
Cartridge that was a 4-in-1 cartridge that had all that stuff on it too?
No,
they did those sort of.
I thought there was at some point.
There was like a 2-in-1 or a 3-in-1 for maybe Sonic.
Because there was
but I don't think there was. They had
cartridge that had Columns and Streets.
No,
of Rage
you are right.
stuff.
There was a 6-in-1, and they came out with that. But that was like way late in the product cycle.
That was
for
when
the
Genesis 3 came out, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was when the mini Sega
mini
Genesis.
one, yeah.
But they, don't get us started on like the Nomad and
that mini one had some
32X.
problem too. It couldn't play all the original games. There were some games that actually wouldn't play on there.
Yeah, there were a few
on the Nomad.
There was some sort of copyright problem with it. It wouldn't play games that didn't say. There was some sort of wording in the beginning of the game.
It says produced and licensed by Sega Enterprises.
Yeah, it didn't say that.
But there was some sort of lockout thing. I heard something about that, but I'm not.
Because to this day, I still see
familiar
people
with
on the forums looking for specific. It's Model 2 Segas before the lockout.
Huh.
I have a JVC XI, so I don't have that problem.
I've got 2 older ones, so I've never had that problem either. So it's kind of weird.
And I have a CDX.
I still have yet to pop in Beggar's Prince.
Yeah, you bought the game for how long ago?
Oh, it was probably like 3 months ago.
And that's not a Sega game. So any Dreamcast love?
Oh, hell yeah. Dreamcast was awesome.
Skies of Arcadia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, I mean, they also did the GameCube version of, so...
Wasn't the Dreamcast one the better of the two, though?
The GameCube one was the better because it had
GameCube.
less loading time.
Well, and they added
Wasn't
some
there
extra
something
stuff
added?
to
Yeah.
it, too, but it didn't support all the really cool VMU stuff that the Dreamcast version did. And that game probably was the best use of the VMU on anything on the Dreamcast.
Street Fighter Alpha 3 was pretty cool in the DMU
SoCal,
also, because you could play lots of little mini games with characters.
When
Yeah.
Skies of Arcadia, it actually had a downloadable game to the VMU. And if you played it, you would earn gold that you could import back into Skies of Arcadia.
Street Fighter Alpha 3 was the same way. You could beef up characters on there and then re-import it.
Well, we're
Also,
talking about
King
like
of
the
Fighters,
Sega first party, though.
2000 Deathmatch or Dream Match did the same thing.
Yeah.
You can-
But any Sega first party games, since this is about Sega love, that you want to mention before we go into the next
hardware
topic?
Isn't hardware love?
Well,
Isn't Sega
yeah,
love?
hardware love. I mean, I do have an unhealthy love for the Saturn. I'm probably the only person
that
in the
is a pretty
country
unhealthy love.
that has the love for the
they had some
Saturn.
great shmups, man.
Well, they had great games. I'm trying to think of the first part.
Great games. Trying to think of one, but they have great games.
You know, Clockwork Knight wasn't that good.
I really loved the Dreamcast because, I mean, it got me back into console gaming, and it was the first home console that had 3D that didn't suck ass.
Yeah.
It was ahead of its time at that point, though.
First console with a modem.
Well, once again, couldn't market their way out of a web paperback.
Well, actually, no. The first console that had internet access was the Sega Genesis with the Sega Channel.
Woo.
I thought the Super NES had an adapter.
It had a satellite
was only
adapter
in
that was
Japan.
Japan only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Super Nintendo had the Super FX chip, but Sega had like flash processing and stuff.
So, did you ever get beat up in the schoolyard over that one?
No. Because I told everyone I played a TurboGrafx and they looked at me real strange. They're like, what's that?
You confused them.
Yeah, they play credit card games.
We can't figure out how geeky you are.
What the hell does that mean? He's speaking some foreign
I'm
language.
playing
I've
Keith
never-
Courage in Alpha Zone. What do you play?
Misdirection. Playing Military Madness.
Hey, Military Madness is an awesome game.
It is until you realize that you really have no control over what's going
Well, that's true. All right, so next up, we are going to talk about what franchises should die, go away, and never return. My vote is Sonic the Hedgehog, but we've already kind of covered that.
Can I pick
John.
Mario?
Mario.
on. That'd be nice.
Mario will never die.
Yeah, but
No.
but should it?
Mario.
In
But
fact,
then-
there's a cosplay being set up, I think, in Texas or something.
Yeah, it's
with
for,
the largest
anime-
amount of
it's-
Mario as possible.
it's,
and they've got
for,
the record of like 230 or
It's
something.
for Akon.
Yeah.
Akon 19.
They're trying to set a Guinness Book World Record of Mario cosplay.
I think Anime Expo is trying to do something like that too.
I just want them to kill Mario so it forces Nintendo to come up with new intellectual property.
Oh, there was a fascinating interview about that
Yeah, they'll
from
just fill it
the
with Metroid.
producer for
Hey, I could do with more
Super
Metroids.
Smash Brothers, who was complaining about the fact that Nintendo hasn't come up with any new characters.
Yeah.
It was like, we wanted to add more people into Super Smash Brothers, but there's just no new IP
Well,
around to add in.
there are in the Japanese games, but they have to bring them out here. And there's even a character in the Smash Brothers that hasn't seen the light of day here in this country, but that's only because they have not released Mother 3 in this country yet. Nintendo, people are asking, oh, who's Lucas? Who's this Lucas character in this game? Dude, it's from Mother 3, okay?
I think they should have left.
Read game facts, motherfucker.
I think they should have left in the VG Cats. You know, that would have been cool.
So,
Should put Gabe and Tycho in Super Smash Brothers.
oh yeah, that'll go over real well. And the fruit fucker.
Yeah, fruit fucker.
Speaking of, when is
I
their
want to
game
see
coming
Tycho's
out?
ultimate attack.
I don't
know. That game is like
I-
in development limbo. Like they talk about it like every 2
Yeah.
months or something, and then you never hear about it again.
It's supposed to be released online like a Steam game, and they got some Canadian company to go ahead and shoot it
I read
out.
the whole article about the company they chose and why they chose.
Well,
them,
and they're
and
like
that was
doing
the last thing I
their
heard
own
about
little
it.
studio thing now, aren't they? Their own little indie game studio or something like
Yeah.
that. I think?
And
Yes.
Well, they went
publishing
in
thing.
some sort of co-op with this game creator company in Canada.
But back,
Well, not for their game. They're like they have some other
Oh.
kind of development studio.
Create their
indie
own
thing.
but back.
Well, they want to be like producers
Yeah.
basically of indie games and stuff like that.
Well, they provide an alternative distribution channel.
yes.
So back to topic here. You say Mario should die, go away, and never return. You just don't like the Mario franchise. Period. Is that?
Yeah, that's pretty much true.
Okay. Well,
And
Well, here's the
it'd be
thing,
nice
I mean-
if they came up with some new stuff.
well,
Maybe something I want to
see-
play. Maybe
see,
something that doesn't have
here-
a plumber.
Here's my logic with Sonic.
So that Ghost Hunter's the game for you. Then.
well, here's the thing, John. Now, my logic with Sonic going away, never return is valid because there hasn't been a good Sonic game in forever. So it's not like they're building on any type of anything. But Mario, there's been like really good Mario games. So you're saying that it should just go away because it's just kind of dead and tired, and everyone's had enough plumbers, or
I don't think Mario has a lot to do with the success of it all. I don't know. Maybe it's all part of the Nintendo brand image, but man, it's some creativity, please. It'd be nice.
Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy should die and never return, huh, Steve?
Also a good one.
And is
Something
that
else
because
that's
you're
totally
tired of
static.
character designs that their clothing is made up of nothing but belts and zippers?
What's kind of amazing too that you can have a series where every game is different and yet they can all
I'll
be
be the
the
same.
same.
Yeah.
Well, seeing as how
Well,
they
if
are,
they want to,
know.
if they want to do these great, like, sort of, these plotline things with all this drama and stuff, why don't you just take out the game part? Just make Final Fantasy movies.
they did, and it failed.
I know.
That failed because it had the Final Fantasy name on it.
Well, it failed because you had to know Final Fantasy to watch the movie.
no, I disagree.
You needed a pre-education to understand the
If
movie.
you took Final Fantasy out of the title, it would have been a much better
Are we talking about Advent Children or the
Advent
Spirits
Children.
Within? Because
Advent
the
Children.
Spirits Within is the one that needed to have Final Fantasy dropped off the title.
I agree with you that Spirits Within would have been a
you're
much
talking
more.
Advent
I'm talking
Children.
Advent
Oh, I
Children,
haven't seen that
where
one.
you needed you needed a primer on Final
Okay.
Fantasy before you watched the
So,
movie.
so we're saying that Advent Children, you need to know Final Fantasy VII, which I completely agree with because
Yes.
it makes
It's like you need to watch another
even if
thing
you-
before you watch that movie.
Even if you played Final Fantasy VII, it still makes no sense.
Well,
I mean,
that's
that's granted.
kinda
But
definition of a
Spirits
stupid movie.
Spirits Within, you don't need to know Final Fantasy to.
Well, no, you don't because it had nothing to do with it.
yeah,
Yeah.
So
Advent
let's
Children was
clarify.
fan wankery.
Yeah,
fan
it really was.
wankery.
It really was. It was like an animated fan fiction.
Well, it probably was a fanfic. Square probably went to a live journal,
Yeah.
said, "Well, this looks good. Let's
Yeah.
animate this."
They went to ff.net.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just cut out all the Sephiroth cloud slash. And
No, that's in the director's cut.
It's like in the little the deleted scenes.
Well,
It's an Easter egg on the DVD menu.
yeah, the subtitles are like, "Oh, nom 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 nom."
No, it's just the whole length girth argument, I'm sure.
Length, girth.
All right.
Is that using Japanese measurements or is that
This-
using imperial measurements?
This alone explains why Final
Is
Fantasy.
that in millimeters? I need the measurements here.
Brian, save me.
There's no going back, buddy.
Save me. What franchise are we killing?
You took mine, man.
You gotta think of a different one. You need a different one.
And talk it to the mic.
Totally got nothing. Final Fantasy was my big one too. I was
All
like,
right.
man,
Well,
I still
there's
love Sony's
a lot of
but
franchises, so I'm sure there's.
There's got to be one out there. I just can't think of one. Off the top
Yeah,
of my
witch
head.
touching. You can take witch touching.
It's not even a franchise yet.
It's only
gonna
one
be like
game.
another game. Maybe it'll be a
The second game
franchise.
hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, sequel, not much of a franchise.
You know what
Three,
franchise I want to
House
go
of the
with?
Dead.
No, Madden.
Oh God.
Yeah, Madden can die. But they just replace it with some other derivative football game.
Yeah, it'd be.
This is EA you're talking about. Come on.
I don't know football guys, so
fully
was it
exploiting
Mike
their
Ditka.
franchises.
Mike Ditka.
Yeah.
2009.
Les Steckel.
I'd like to see it.
2008.
I'd like to just see a.
Dan Reeves, 2010.
I'd like to see a Pigskin franchise. Pigskin was an awesome sports game.
Maybe we could get Mutant League football back.
Mutant League,
no, I've got one.
Graveyard.
I've got one. I just thought of one. Franchise to die. Mortal Kombat.
It's not already dead.
It died.
No, because there's a
man.
new one coming out like this
Hey,
year.
It's dead in my
Yeah,
mind.
but it's like a zombie.
You
Well-
know, in that same vein, man, Soul Calibur is just
Yeah,
they
Soul
just keep
Calibur
adding
really
shit to
shot
add
out,
shit.
They're on their last legs anyways. They're gonna
Yeah,
die
but
soon.
the thing is that the Soul Calibers are actually decent fighting games. Mortal Kombat, not so much.
Yeah, but there's nothing new when they put out a new one.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, good, Yoda. Yeah, that really makes it better. Again.
True. I mean, you could probably say the same of the Tekken franchise.
Yes. But I thought that about Tekken 2.
Tekken 2 was an awesome game. Tekken 3, not so much.
I've never been able to stand the
2
game
was
mechanics for
freaking
Tekken.
awesome.
There's never been a Tekken game where I've played it for more than 20 minutes and said, wow, I want to play this game more.
I think 2 is the pinnacle of the series. Same with Mortal Kombat, for that matter. 2 was the best one, and then it just all went down.
2 was pretty good. I just like the fact that every single Mortal Kombat game, the characters got smaller on the screen.
Yeah.
And had more ribs and skulls that you could pop
Yes.
out of them when you did a fatality.
When you're doing something called a babality, you know you're on your last legs.
Yeah.
That's not something you put in a fighting game. That's just stupid.
Well, you could do a babality and do the motion for a fatality and crash the arcade game.
That's awesome.
You had to actually reset the board and everything to get it to work again.
First arcade with a BSOD.
No, that was
At least,
Carnival, because Carnival ran off a hard drive in the arcade, so it could
Mortal
literally
Kombat
get
came
a
out before
black.
Carnival, though.
Yeah, I know, but Carnival could have a screen of death because it ran off a hard drive, not off the actual ROM.
Huh.
Is that like Clay Fighter 33 and a
Well,
third?
I don't know if 3 games make a franchise. But
Yeah.
How do you?
I'm sure ROM check errors have been around.
How do you
for a long
crash a cart? Well,
Yeah,
these
you
really
get,
shitty
get the-
programmers.
Get people putting their drinks on top of the cab, and then it spills into the cab and shorts out the board or something.
What about Ridge Racer for a series that refuses to
Ridge
innovate?
Racer.
I don't think that game has changed a bit other than graphics in the last 6 iterations.
But is it a franchise that needs to die? I mean, it's kind of innocuous. It's just kind of there. It's not really annoying. I mean, it doesn't annoy us that much.
It's just there so they have a game they can make.
You know what it
release
is?
title.
You know what Ridge Racer is? Ridge Racer is the tech demo for the new hardware that comes out. I'm serious. It's like every new hardware that comes out, there's a Ridge Racer. It's like, well, here's your tech demo. I'm serious.
It's a modern version of R-Type.
R-Type isn't really a tech demo. It's just a game that's been ported to every single fucking system ever made.
For it was for the 16-bit systems. Every freaking time they were doing check out these superior new systems. It was like, here's screenshots of R-Type.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, did you get that pre-ordered email for the new Gashapon series coming out from NCS?
I ain't got no money right now. I gotta wait.
Well, it's a pre-order. They don't charge you now. You're not going to pay until July.
I'll see.
It's $20.
I got to do an order through Play Asia here in the next week or so.
It's Series 2
I
of
will
those
let you know.
shmup Gashapon, so I already ordered mine. I was psyched about it.
So any other franchise that needs to die before we go on to our next topic?
Oh, there's got to be 10 of them, man.
I was just thinking just now I've been every once in a while flipping over to Maxim Radio to try to catch their video game thing, and
Oh yes, our retarded.
retarded older brother, our retarded older larger brother.
He's like that older brother in Weird Science.
Yeah. Well, he's kind of
Chip.
he's kind of like what's his name in Goonies.
Oh, yeah. He was kind of cool though.
No, not him. Like the one that like the Snickers bars or whatever.
All right, so
weird.
He turned out to be nice in the end, though.
Well, he did.
All right, so what's your point, Steve?
Well, I keep switching over there and trying to catch that podcast and never do, and I end up listening to these really really lame shows that are essentially people getting paid $80,000 a year to do what we're doing right now.
We got to get one of those jobs.
I know, what the hell? And they have
paid
chicks.
to do this shit. How's that happen?
I don't know. They do it. I mean, I'm listening to this and going, "Holy crap! I do that."
And we do it better.
But they have chicks.
Well, we need
that
chicks.
might be the critical missing ingredient.
Yeah.
So any women who listen to this podcast that would be interested in not joining, just kind of, I don't know what they would do.
Yeah,
They would. Well, that might be the core of the problem.
Really,
Yeah,
there.
I think
They're not part of that 72%, apparently.
Okay.
So really, what they do on Maxim is they act like airheads. I have never listened to any radio shows full of more insecure bubbleheads than on Maxim Radio.
That's what happens when you give women a rate. I mean,
Well, it's the guys too.
Oh, okay.
It's like the whole staff
Great.
is just these.
It's pussy
bubble-headed-
radio.
It is. They're bubble-headed, insecure.
All right. All right, so our last topic, before we get over to our reviews here, is why are there not more MMORPGs on consoles? Which is a very good question, because apparently now that consoles have hard drives and can be patched with
and you're
interweb
already
access.
getting billed for them.
Yeah, and the Xbox 360 has a little keyboard thing for the
And PS3,
control
you can
pad.
just plug the keyboard in.
Yeah, so why aren't we seeing more MMORPGs on consoles?
Beats the living ever little fuck out of me.
So, Steve, any...
No.
No, you don't
No
know?
idea. I have no clue.
Is there even
Makes
any
no sense
hope
to me.
of one on the horizon now?
Roger was talking about one called Champions.
I think it's just too expensive. I think
Well,
in the long run,
we're
they're not
paying a
making.
monthly fee for Xbox Live anyway.
We're paying that to Xbox Live. We're not paying it to the company creating the game.
Yeah, but people pay for, like, Phantasy Star Online.
I could see it if they could tack on another $5 or something, or they could find some sort of fee, some nominal fee that went to the game. But
Well, I mean, they
because
can
of that,
still
though, we won't see
Well,
that.
yeah,
But
but
if there was a WoW port on the consoles,
Yeah,
people would still
people
pay
would still play.
$15 a month.
Yeah, they'd still play. It's just they got a built-in audience of people that are already logging onto a system. All they got to do is sell a game, and these people are going to buy it. But they don't, and I don't know why.
I just don't think consoles are ready for it.
And then we also
Why-
already know that there's
well-
the PSU exception, whereby if you are playing that game, you don't have to pay for Xbox Live. For Phantasy Star Universe, you just pay the Universe fee, and you can play the game, whether or not you have an Xbox Live.
But is that a
subscription.
monthly fee?
Yeah.
How much do you pay a month?
I think that one was like $10 a month or something.
So that's $120 at the end of a year versus $49.95.
Because people are really griping about the $15 a month for WoW.
Well-
It's really cutting into that market share.
And here's the thing, people aren't developing for PCs as much, so you would think that consoles would be the next place that they would go. It's like,
I
hey,
don't
people
buy
are
that because this year is like the year of PC. If ever, it's been stronger this year than it's been the last 10 years. And people keep saying they're dying, and I'm like, look at all the fucking
I don't know
games
about
coming
that,
out for
but
PCs.
We can't say that the consoles aren't ready for it because they would need to put one out before we knew if they were ready for it or not.
I don't think anybody's willing to sink their money into it.
Okay, so let's
PCs are a good example of how it works, but I just don't think they're
Well,
willing
okay,
to
so
buy
here,
into the
okay,
console yet.
okay. Part of this is I don't buy it because
work for
they
Final
have
Fantasy
come out
11.
with. Well, yeah, that's what I was going to use. Final Fantasy 11 did come out on consoles and the PC, and has been, sort of kind of successful. I mean,
Be a lot more successful if it didn't suck.
Well, there's
doing
that.
Expansions
That's
for
why
it.
they came out with 12.
And it's one of the Eastern RPGs, so it hasn't really gotten any traction here because, it's grinderific.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's definitely a model for it. I mean, you have the base that can play the game. You have keyboard controllers for these systems, so you can text. I mean, you could play the game through a keyboard, so it's not like there's no attachments for it. You have a hard drive so you can save your data. You have internet
Voice
connection.
chat.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
have voice
everything's
chat.
just everything, and nobody
it's
types in WoW anymore.
And it's on a console, which means you don't have to worry about drivers and trying to get shit
Nobody's
to work.
serious anyway.
So why? I mean, you
And
would
they
think
can
that
do
consoles would
patching
be
on
the
console
easiest.
these days.
Yeah, you would think it'd be easy to just put it on a console. I mean, or at least give people the options like, well, hey, we'll put it on both the PC and the, on a console, and then you can just switch back and forth, whatever's convenient.
Yeah,
Don't
I
ask me
wish
that.
I knew why WoW was not on the consoles.
It makes no sense.
It's not like
They can only make more money.
it's not like Blizzard does not have the money to develop it.
Well, it's
Yeah,
not
I
like they're
think-
doing anything else.
I think they're making so much money hand over fist on the PC.
Yeah, but that's
There's
just
no reason to
that's
go
just
try
more
and mess
money
with
they
a
can make.
console.
I mean, do you know how easy it
Yeah,
would
but
be
they
to?
don't want to take.
Yeah, but they
their
ported
people-
it to the Mac.
They don't want to take their people off of working on what they are for the PC and Mac, and have to divert some of them onto suddenly,
I
that might
don't-
actually suffer on the next expansion for a while.
I disagree with that only because that World of Warcraft came out originally on a PC, which is basically putting it on an Xbox, because the operating system and everything between the Xbox 360 and Windows is not that different.
Well, besides the point, they're making so much money they can afford to get more developers to take up that bandwidth.
What are they
Why
up to,
they
like
aren't.
$1 billion a year now?
Yeah, it's something ridiculous.
So
it's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I remember reading an article about them working on another game, and they ended up suspending it because they were utilizing too many resources from WoW, from their people in WoW, and they're like, no, we won't want to pull our people off this because we're making so much money off this. It would be stupid to cut our own throats.
Sounds like a management problem versus
I don't know, but that's their mentality. We've got something that's guaranteed to work right now. It's working well. Let's not screw it up by doing anything different. Let's just keep making expansions for this until people stop buying it.
Ran Origin into the fucking ground.
Yeah.
So sad.
Well, it's working for Blizzard, though.
It worked for Origin,
too.
Yeah.
Worked up right up until about 7, and then the whole thing fell apart, you know?
Yeah.
So we don't know why they don't release these games on the console.
If I knew why, I wouldn't be putting this question on a podcast.
We'd be
And
making an
Blizzard just,
MMORPG for a console.
Who just bought Blizzard?
They're merging with, what is it, Vivendi?
Yeah, they got
No,
that stupid name.
It's not Vivendi. It's somebody else.
It's,
Somebody big, too.
fuck, I can't remember.
Was
It's got
Activision?
a stupid name, though. It's
Yeah,
like Blizzard
I think it is
something.
Activision.
It's okay. I don't
Right.
remember.
Yeah, Activision makes sense.
That sounds about right.
Don't remember.
And they're merging the two names to make the new name corporation. Yeah.
So Activision will be coming out with the Tony Hawk MMORPG.
Should just call themselves Wowzers or something.
No, you just get
and
your
have
special
Inspector
limited
Gadget
edition Tony Hawk
as part of the
pet.
logo.
Yes, you get a little demon on a skateboard to follow you around if you're what the hell do they call those things? I don't remember.
All right.
Yeah, there's another game that's a game that needs to die right there. Tony Hawk.
Yeah,
It's had its time and it's done. There's
even
other
the Tony Hawk fans think that Tony Hawk
Skate is actually a better game right now. It's just
Oh,
kind of funny.
I forgot to tell you, there's going to be like a smut game coming out on the Wii, which is
Apropos?
Not. No,
you be the judge.
No, it's actually better. There's actually better than that. It actually uses the fishing rod controller. I shit you not.
I just saw that on the magazine yesterday. The little rotating thing, you put the wheel next to it. Oh,
Steve is contemplating this idea.
Oh, man.
How will it apply to real life?
What,
He's
just be
working
like
on
fishing.
the numbers.
What else do you do when you're waiting for
Trolling.
fish?
He's trolling.
So this is going to be an officially licensed game on the Wii?
Probably not.
Not here.
Chances say no. But, the commercial that will be out for it will be awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Leisure Suit Larry goes trolling.
OMG.
Sierra
FTW.
Online.
Yeah. All right.
OMG Sierra Online.
Yeah. All right.
FTW.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next up, we have our 1-minute game reviews. I have BANGAIO Spirits, which is a completely awesome game, and you should buy it, even if you don't like shmups.
I wouldn't buy it if it wasn't a completely awesome game. If it was only $75.
No,
But
it's
seeing as it's for a platform I don't own, I'm going to rush right out for it.
Yeah.
okay. This game is so awesome that if your brain had an ass, it'd be kicking its ass right now. That's how awesome it is.
Did I edit that part out, right?
No,
Oh.
because I said it so it's cool.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah. You see what I did there?
No.
Nothing.
SPFU.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You want me to show you my tits now? Is it?
Oh, God, no.
Yeah, thanks. No.
Okay. All right. So,
You're glad you couldn't see that, viewers.
well, they're kind of.
All right.
He can't see him either.
It's getting
I can
worse.
see my.
We're going to have to start breaking out the bleach agritas here.
Yeah.
All right.
So
So
it's all over.
you're the breast.
It's all over. For
So
you,
here's
Qatar.
You must give up.
So here's my review of Trio the Punch, which is the worst video game we've ever played ever. Oh my God.
That was really bad.
That was like watching bad programming.
Oh, we need to videotape ourselves playing that and put it on the website.
No,
Just
just videotape you playing it. 'cause
then
the rest
I'm
of us
fine
don't
by
want-
that. Yeah.
The rest of us don't want to be anywhere near.
We'll enter the pick of your man boobs.
Yeah.
It's
I'll
getting
get
worse,
Rick-
dear
I
viewers,
believe
it's
the
getting worse.
technical term is moobs.
Boobs.
Explains movies.
Wasn't that the restaurant in Clerks too?
Yeah, movies.
It's been a restaurant since
Oh
All right.
Clerks
So-
1.
Dogma.
Okay, so BANGAIO Spirits. This game is basically semi-sequel to BANGAIO. Biggest change is that you do not use the buttons to fire in the 8 directions a la Robotron. You actually assign a specific weapon to each button. So one weapon can be like a bound shot, one can be like a break shot, one can be homing missile, whatever. And you can combine the shots, you can mix the shots. So if you have 2 different shots, you can have your bound plus your homing, and you have
So can you just, press all the buttons down all the time?
You
No.
press all the buttons down at the time to get alcohol poisoning from all the shots
No.
you're doing.
No.
Don't mix your shots. You're going to get sick.
No.
Words of wisdom.
And then you have your EX shots, which are basically, that's where you get, the Macross missiles from hell. And the more enemy bullets that come toward you when you hit that button, you reflect more. Now in the Dreamcast version, you had X amount of missiles for, the amount that you reflected. So you could have 500-600 missiles come out. But since the DS isn't as processing heavy, what they do is you can have a max of 100 missiles, but they have a multiplier that actually increases the strength depending on the number of bullets that come by. So that compensates for it. Plus it has a level editor, which is completely awesome because it saves the level as a music file, and you can save it as an MP3 on your computer and put it on the internet. People can listen to the level, and it sounds like scratches and static and stuff. But you can listen to the level, and it'll download right on your DS through the microphone port. So
this is a great solution as opposed to having an actual file upload feature.
well,
Thanks, Nintendo.
Mighty
Figure out the
creative,
internet
that's for
already.
sure.
it's creative, but who knows?
I really would have liked to seen another BANGAIO come out on something larger, but if it has to come out on a DS or nothing at all, it's nice to see it on the DS too.
It's a very solid game.
Do you have to use the stylus to shoot?
You don't have to use the stylus. Is not
Not used for anything?
the only thing that the stylus is used for is if you want to edit your own level. And then
So how do you
that's
control what direction you shoot?
well, you press upper left to shoot upper left or upper right.
with the D-pad.
So
Yeah.
then how do you move?
Same thing, and you can actually fix your shot so that you can move without moving your rack, or you can have free movement depending on.
But you
how
don't get to shoot in a different direction you're moving unless you start moving in that direction, lock your shot in that
Yeah.
direction. And
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes a little practice, but it works really, really well.
Why could the Dreamcast controls were pretty great? They worked fine.
Yeah, but the nice thing is that they tried something different with this game, and it wasn't the same kind of thing, which is kind of
Yeah, the
what you
Dreamcast
complain-
also had 2 different pads on it.
Well, it's also
it had a D-pad and 4 buttons.
well, it's also different from the Nintendo 64 version.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, that the game originally came out on the
Huh.
Nintendo 64 before the Dreamcast.
Yeah, I didn't play that one.
I own it. It's
Did it
very
ever
hard
come
to
out
come
in
to.
Didn't you have to use the L and the
No.
R buttons to switch
Yeah, that
directions?
causes a
Import
problem.
only for the Nintendo 64 for BANGAIO.
I think there was 12 different control schemes on the Dreamcast.
Yeah, I seem to
Yeah.
remember there was. I had a
There's
different
two.
setup.
There's 2 for the Dreamcast. There's where you can use the buttons as the direction you shoot, or you just have a generic button and you just fire like you would, and you fire up right, and you just hit the fire button and it will go up right. So you can do either way.
It was that same kind of lock-on bit.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, you just
the
push to
DS
initiate
uses.
that direction and then auto lock and boom, hit your
So
button.
it's not original, it's just fewer choices.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's a good
Just
game.
so
Buy
long
it.
as
That's
we're
all you
clear.
need to know. Buy the game. It's
That
worth
was,
every penny.
That was more than a minute.
Well, it's because
You
John's
kept
like,
asking questions.
objecting to everything I say. He's like
Well,
the lawyer
How
of
is
the podcast.
how is that any different from ever?
He's a
I object to your very existence.
I object!
Mr. Murdock. You have some damn good explanation for all this.
You really can't do the Phoenix Wright pose on the radio, though.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
Doesn't come across
All
right.
right. So, does anyone else have a review?
Mr. Birdman.
I did get Age of Dynasties, the expansion for Age of Empires 3.
Asian Dynasties.
Yeah, they had Age of Empires 3 came out originally. Then there was the War Chiefs, which added the Sioux, Lakota, and I think another Indian race. And then the second expansion was the Asian Dynasties, which gave the Chinese and Japanese. But the new add-on was pretty cool. Playing as the Japanese and Chinese was really neat. I mean, it was added a lot to the game. That's you. It added a lot to the game, and it brought new challenges, and the Japanese are actually pretty fun to play. They're actually a little stronger than all the other races right now because they just patched it. These samurai are just devastating. They can come in and just devastate a whole town.
That's
kinda
very
sad.
weeaboo.
Yeah. But they are one of the
Are the
stronger
Japanese
races.
superior?
Sometimes, yes. In small numbers, yes. In large numbers, amazingly well, yes.
Dude.
No, I really like them. I'm actually playing the Spanish right now, but the game is really cool. You can just end. You can go so far with a race, end with it, and go on to another race, and the replay value is amazing. It's
That's
a great
racist.
RTS.
Sorry.
Well, yeah, there are a lot of races on there, so.
John, you got anything?
Actually, the most exciting game I played recently was a demo. Gave a try on the Warhammer 40k Squad Commander demo for the PSP.
Yeah. Man, this has been sitting on my desktop for about 3 months.
And they really did an excellent job with it. And I've heard some complaints about the controls, but I don't see where they're coming from because you compare this to the other turn-based games that are out there, and they do a much better job than just about anything I can think of. It's kind of surprising. If you go through the list of releases, the PSP is really becoming the destination of choice outside of the PC for turn-based strategy games. I had no idea it would happen, but it looks like it is.
It definitely didn't succeed in shmups, so had to go some direction.
Steve, you got anything?
Just trying to figure out how it is that you're going to get out of the goo in Eve.
The goo.
The goo in
Can opener.
Eve.
Can opener.
Yeah. They're just going to pop you into one of them little magnet things that makes the grindy noise.
Right.
The fuck are you talking about?
They confirmed that they're going to allow walkabout inside stations and stuff in Eve.
Why?
For actual avatars. Because
Why the fuck do we need second life in Eve?
I believe the specific reason given was because they wanted women to play the game too.
Yeah.
Wait.
So they're gonna add
There's
malls
women
inside the stations.
Wait. There's women
Apparently it's
on
part
the
of-
internet,
Apparently it's
right?
one of the things that women like about MMOs is that they can see their characters.
They have
You can't see
avatars
your
they can
character.
identify with.
Yeah, if you can't
You
see
do
your
realize that
characters
this is
like
all
in Eve,
gonna
it
this is
limits the
this is
female
gonna end up with just guys making female avatars that are
that's
wearing nothing
already
but
the
like
case. Dude,
skimpy stuff.
Not an option in Eve anyway.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
it's
an
not
option.
an
You get a headshot, basically. But, I mean, Eve is probably 95% male player population.
Yeah,
You know.
easily.
And so this is,
And half of those are from SA.
yeah.
All right. So that's it for the podcast. Listeners know we are looking for slutty women. So if you are a slutty
no.
women,
Women
No.
of loose morals.
Yes.
We have very specific
asking
criteria, high standards.
I would like to point out
okay,
that
if you're looking for
Murdock-
slutty women, you
No.
don't have high standards.
No, we're not looking for slutty women. What is with you and slutty? You've been like this for like 2 weeks now. Every time you're talking about women, you're like, I need to find some slutty women. What is it with you and slutty women?
I like slutty women.
Well,
Don't
that all
you?
dates back to his childhood.
Oh,
No, I like women of loose morals.
it
It's a
goes
subtle
back from
but
that time in band
important
camp. Is that
Yeah,
what we're?
first babysitter you had? Yeah.
I never had a
Yeah.
babysitter.
Yes.
Well, I know she
You-
was a slut,
Yes. Yes.
I fell asleep.
Yes.
She had a big.
Can I say yes enough on that one?
I don't think so.
Could you
Yes.
go into more detail on this, Steve?
Have some black butt.
No.
And how long ago did you stop seeing this babysitter? Like a week ago?
Yeah, too.
Well, she really stopped seeing him because couldn't afford her anymore.
Yeah.
But you do remember her being cute.
Well, see, actually, it was kind of funny that there was this family that was on the block behind us, and they had 4 daughters, and they each in turn babysitted as we grew up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of like Dear
like
Penthouse
the-
letters.
It's like the Joy Luck Babysitters Club. That's
I never thought it would happen to me.
Dear Penthouse.
Yeah.
And I was wearing diapers at the time. Is it a fetish thing? No, I was like,
No, it's
2.
like 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You have any
Probably should be
babysitter
wearing
stories,
diapers at
John?
4, but
No, I was just left home alone.
this explains obsession with video games, probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mario was your babysitter.
No, I had a Genesis, not that shitty Nintendo crap.
Yeah. He was kept.
Yeah, remember Genesis does what Nintendo don't?
Genesis does what Nintendo don't. Wow.
Can't tell me you forgot that one.
No,
John was kept company by furries in Ultra Beast.
No, furries in Sonic.
Yes.
Did Miles Tails Prower touch you in a place that...
No, but Phantasy Star 2 regularly kicked my ass.
Oh, I need my daily dose of ass whooping.
Did Sonic the Hedgehog, cause like some sort of stranger danger situation with your...
Stranger danger. I was watching there was a VH1 documentary on the drug years, and they had some pretty awesome archives of 80s drug commercials.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
This is your brain on drugs.
Oh, but that was the culmination. That was like the top of Everest. There's a whole slew of stuff that came before that's just as ridiculous.
Did any of them involve Mr. T?
I pity the fool.
I'm sure they did. There was one where, for some reason, Arnold Schwarzenegger was a construction worker, and he's hiding.
That was a Japanese ramen commercial.
And he was on a construction site, and people walk by, and he turns around, and he goes, "Arr!" and he's like, "Whoa, orthodontia guy, orthodontia," and then he got some.
What?
Well, he's got good teeth now. Before he had like really ridiculously bad teeth.
He got good teeth because Cyberdyne provided him with good teeth.
That is true.
Although speaking of Arnold,
Yeah.
Running Man is really a great movie to go back and watch Dueling Governors in.
Yeah.
Arnold.
Jesse the Body.
Oh, I'm like, Richard Dawson was a governor? What?
Richard Dawson, yes.
Top 10 bills are on the docket. Survey says.
Yeah.
There's another dumb video game law bill coming up from Arizona. And it's so vague. It's like, okay, well, this will be unconstitutional in about 5 seconds.
They learn, but
they don't. It's like, okay, well, instead of the person who sells the material to be fined or whatever, they're going to let the actual publisher, the person who actually makes the material, be held responsible for anything that happens. But there's nothing in the law that states, where they're getting the criteria from. It's like, well, if it's offensive, it's like, okay, well, who defines what's offensive? It's good job there, Arizona.
I could get a judge to find that unconstitutional. It's like, well, what we're going to do is hold the person responsible that has nothing to do with selling it. All righty. Well, that's good.
So I wonder if Medicaid's going to pay for this one, too.
Yeah.
Really now?
There's no people in Arizona. There's
none of them that are alive, anyway.
It'd be Medicare for the Gila monsters.
And Peter Graves that talks about the Gila monsters.
Peter Graves.
I learned a little too late that man was a feeling creature.
I'm Peter Graves, and I'm in the right class.
All right. Well, is that it for the podcast? Unless you have anything else? I know you want your women of loose morals. I'll start saying that.
Yes.
Do you refer to the Civil War as the War of Northern Aggression?
Yes.
I think I saw some of them last night at the Larimer Lounge.
Civil War people?
No.
Hey, I hear. I hear that there was some problem with having cash at the show that was the day you went to on Saturday.
Oh, they
night.
had an ATM, but it wouldn't take my card. It was weird. So.
Oh.
Luckily, Ka had cash. It was kind of strange.
Which is kind of weird. I think that she was telling me that story. I'm like, I think you're lying. Because
she actually had cash and she owed me, so it worked out well. She even bought me one of the CDs there, so I got to pay her back for that.
We should try doing a show like...
I just don't believe the story because it involves Ka having cash.
She got a job.
What?
Yeah, she got a temp job at a place she used to work years ago, so it's crazy.
Steve, we should try and find a place to, do a live show, at Roller Dolls. That'd be kind of cool. I know it won't happen, but... Or at, Hooters or something.
That's not really going to work out.
Why?
Why not?
Not really a theme.
If you're sports commentating, awesome. If you're video game commentating, not so much.
Live from Game Force.
How about we do that
Roller Dolls.
as soon as they come out with the first Roller Dolls video game?
Yeah.
I think it's already been done.
Work on that. I'll be sure to get out of my retirement home.
720, the MMORPG.
Speaking of, there's a Roller Dolls match this Friday down the old Coliseum.
Huh.
That's the
just
first
wanted-
of the season, I think.
Skate or Die. The
Are we still going to the 20?
I know.
Was it the 22nd?
Oh, yeah, there's something about that.
Yeah, everybody wanted to go.
We'll have to see what happens for it.
Okay.
because Skate or
Well,
Die was actually like
It's
an
like
adventure
far
game
enough
with
off, I haven't
skateboarding.
even been thinking about it yet.
all right. Well, thank you for listening to Diehard Gamer Radio.
Thank you for listening to Diehard Gamer Radio. You can visit our website at diehardgamerradio.com and iTunes, or you can email us at diehardgamerradio@gmail.com.